Okay, welcome to Into the Channel podcast, primarily about women's football. I am your host, Dino DeCespedes, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Grant Engel. What is up, man?
I'm feeling all right, buddy. We have found another way to execute a draft of some kind in a sport that, now that the NWSL has abolished the draft, a sport that has no drafts, that doesn't deter us. Nothing's going to stop us from drafting things.
No drafts except one. The ITC. Pick a team to track all season draft. I'm very excited to get into this with you. A little bit about the machinations here. I feel like, my guy Grant in Seattle, he covers the Reign. I'm here in Orlando. I cover the Pride. Those mechanics seem to have worked for us, I think, pretty well as a show. I think we got a pretty good grasp of like kind of what's going on in the league through that type of coverage. So we're going to extend it out a little bit, and we're going to go through all 14 teams. At the end of this draft, I'll have 7. My guy will have 7. And, season kicks off here in a few weeks. We'll be able to kind of like have a better handle of like what's going on in the league with each of us in the driver's seat for our 7 squads.
I like it. I figure last year, before we did our season preview, we just kind of split the map in like this weird kind of diagonal half. And, as much as I like chronological order, as much as I like alphabetical order, we don't have to do like a geographical line like that. We should pick the teams we like. This is going to be much more exciting. And like I said, we're 2 dudes hosting a podcast. Why wouldn't we do a draft?
Let's go. All right. With that said, well, actually, let's get through some of the formalities. I'm going to keep rock with my Orlando Pride.
Yeah.
I assume you're going to stick with your Seattle Reign. So with that said, the draft starts at 3. How are we deciding who goes first here?
I'm going to enjoy this delicious Sea Pine Brewing Company Citra IPA, brewed in beautiful Seattle, Washington. So yeah, I think you're right. We're drafting 12 teams. I gotta rock with the home team that I cover. Not as a fan. Sounds great. Not as a fan, but as an objective journalist. That's obviously how we do things here. This is a journalism outfit. How about you just do the honors? How about you take the first pick? I think you let me get the first pick in the ITC Best 11 draft. So I believe it's your turn.
All right. So I'm going to go a little off the board here, and there could be some ulterior motives. There's some rumblings. I know Soccer Donna might have had a post about this maybe last week, that I could be taking my talents back to the Bay Area potentially. No, nothing set in stone yet, but that could be what it is. I'll be heartbroken to kind of like be so far away from my Orlando Pride, but such is life. So with my pick, my first pick, the third pick in the ITC pick a team draft, give me Bay FC.
Wow.
So I might be living there. They made the playoffs. They've got tons of attackers. They're exciting. Their second season. I love their ownership group. CTX, you already know.
Oh yeah.
ITC, Hall of Famer. She's in the building, and I think they're a team on the absolute upswing.
Couldn't agree more. Fantastic pick. I think I understand why you said they're off the board a little bit. I cannot wait for us to do the season preview with just us. Now, obviously, we are the Galaxy's only women's football podcast, hosted by 2 bros who did a way too early season preview with the great broadcaster Mike Watts.
Mm-hmm.
But we still need to do a proper preview where we include more spicy takes and predictions, because once again, as I said, we're 2 dudes hosting a podcast, so we have to do predictions. I mean, what are we, crazy? Like, we have to do this. So, okay, great pick by you. Let's move this thing along, because we're dividing these so we can do deeper dives in research. So this is just us kind of picking our teams and letting you guys know. You mentioned CTX, the ITC Hall of Famer. Like, now she can give you ideas for what to look for with Bay FC. And this goes for everybody. In the comments, let us know if we pick your team. We know we have pals who are fans of every squad in the league. Once one of us selects your team, tell us who we should look out for. What storyline should we be watching out for? I think that'll help us with the prep, help us deliver a better show. And now we're just kind of, not to sound lazy like we're outsourcing things. We're not a radio show taking phone calls. We're not talking to Dan on a mobile in Hialeah. Well, that's okay. We're just making sure that we are involving the community. So with my first pick of the draft, give me the Washington Spirit.
Nice. Yeah, very Very creative of you to just take the second best team. And like, no, I mean, tons going on with the Spirit. Well, why'd you pick the Spirit?
Croy Bethune, Hal Hirschfeld, Lacey Santos, Trinity Rodman, Oli Sarr. Yes, they are the second best team in the league, I believe. I think they're going to challenge for a trophy or two this season. And I want to dive in and see what else I can find.
Love it. Yep. Yona Heraldez too. Definitely.
Of course.
With a full season, going to be really excited to see what happens there. I'm going to stick with, I mentioned CTX as a great friend of the pod. I'm going to stick with the friend of the pod theme. Give me the Houston Dash. Shout out to extra friends of the pod at Woso Reader, at Mr. Goog. Still trying to figure out if those are the same person. It is possible that there's more than one Houston Dash fan on the internet. Give me the Houston Dash. I'm leading the charge with regard to the Yasmin Ryan fan club. We're recording this before she believes, so there's a chance that Yasmin explodes, and this feels more like a no-brainer, pick in terms of the fifth in the draft. But I love Houston. I think they're exciting. I also think that they're a little bit of a mess, a little bit interesting from a franchise standpoint, so that's always fun to kind of cover. But give me Houston. I want them in my squad.
All right. This is a great pick. I had them lower on my big board, but they were sixth on my big board. So I mean, I didn't have them. Okay. I didn't have them way down there because I think they're absolutely an intriguing team. Had a good offseason. Despite losing Tarsiane, I think they, like you mentioned, the Yasmin Ryan acquisition, they made some very interesting moves. For a team that finished bottom of the table and didn't have the draft to rely on, they knew they had to take some big swings, and I think they did that. So great call by you. With my second pick, I'm going to stay in that mid-Atlantic. I guess Washington, D.C. is kind of like mid-Atlantic. I don't know. I'm not really good at geography. And I don't know if Cary, North Carolina is on the near the coast or near the water. Or I don't know if they're inside. But give me the North Carolina Courage. Speaking of teams similar to the Houston Dash that lost a great Brazilian player, they lose Kettolene, but they made some other very interesting acquisitions. Obviously, they pick up Jaden Shaw. I'm going to be tracking them all year very closely. I'll take the Courage.
Love it. Great pick. They were on my short list. They were right around this spot in my big board, maybe a little higher. I got a little excited trying to give our friends some shout outs here, but that's all right. I'm excited with who I ended up with. And I think I'm going to make up for it here with my pick. This team, I got to see them in person from the press box in the semifinals of last year's NWSL playoffs. Definitely outperformed my expectations. The Kansas City Current, they've got the MVP of the league. They're loaded. I just think that this team kind of has a little bit of unfinished business feel to them. They were shot out of a cannon the beginning of last year, and I think there's a chance that they kind of are able to recreate some of that magic. And if they can stay healthy, big if, but if they can stay healthy, they're just going to be a nightmare for every defense in the league here. Give me the Kansas City Current.
Yeah, fantastic pick. They were next on my big board. They're going to challenge for both trophies this year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Great move by you. All right, I think I'm going to do. I don't know if you're going to expect this one, but they are next on my big board. And if there's one thing I must be loyal to, it is the big board. I'm going to take the Utah Royals.
Oh, because I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, I hate you.
The draft is working out great.
You're finally going to win a draft.
Yeah, it's about time. I got one. Yeah, man. I mean, this could be the Centenor leap year. I'm extremely interested to see that. They extend the contracts of Mandy McGlynn and Paige Monahan. I just feel like they got a lot going for them. And yeah, I'm excited to see them play, which I got to tell you, the first time you know what? I won't say this. Let me backtrack. I was going to say it's the first time I've ever been excited to see a Utah sports team play. That would be a lie, because even though I do not care for the Utah Jazz, your boy has watched so many Utah versus BYU, Utah State versus Utah, BYU versus Utah State, every college football machination of all those schools in Utah. I have watched so many of those games over my lifetime, which is, probably says something about me that I don't want to reveal really. But yeah, long-winded rant aside, I'm taking the Royals.
I like it. Yeah. Shout out to Rick Bajaris and Keith Van Horn, a couple of Utah legends.
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to scroll through my texts here. I'm going to send a message, a yo you up message to one of my old flings here. Give me Racing Louisville with the 9th pick in the draft. You know, a little bit of an off year, kind of stuck in neutral a little bit.
Yeah.
They've got good players. It seemed like they were always another team that was kind of battling injuries. They never had like their full assortment of talent.
Yep.
I just like their vibe. I like the way they play. They've got a culture of like really going for it. I don't know. I like watching them. I like the way they play. And I think for me, my draft strategy is let me stack my side with teams that I like watch playing.
Sure.
Louisville firmly in that camp. They're my next pick.
Okay. They were, I'm not going to lie to you. I wonder if there might be a weird bias that I have. And I'm not trying to kneecap what you're doing because I obviously trust your football acumen here. Literally last on my big board. So you educate me. I could be a damn fool. We'll see how it goes. You are right though. They do have a lot of good players. They keep themselves in games. So I'll be interested to watch them play as well. So I got to stay true to the board, even though I am so caught in between. I'm so caught in between 7 and 8 that I'm kind of annoyed with myself, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Portland Thorns.
Oh,
they still have Sophie Wilson, pardon me. This is the
congratulations on the nuptials.
Exactly.
We call that a callback in podcasting lately.
Exactly. Whoever watched the last episode where we were congratulating many players on many nuptials, which, good for them. It was just by the third time I did it, I was like, wow, I really have to do this many times.
A lot of nuptializing.
But yeah, exactly. So Jess Fleming, Hina Sujita, Sam Coffey, the first year post the legend Christine Sinclair. Interested to see there's some kind of leadership vacuum. I would doubt it because of those other players that I named. But, they were so hot and cold last year, and we know that they are a dominant winning franchise. I'm eager to see how they're going to bounce back.
I like it. Good pick. I wasn't going to take Portland. There's just something about, I don't know. I don't really like watching their games. It's something, I don't know, the like color scheme or the camera. And I'm like a brand guy, a vibes guy, and just something about their games that doesn't quite feel right. Even though our guy, Mike Watts, said that was a great environment. I'm sure being in the building would feel different.
Looks like
but something about the telecast, just not for your guy. I'm going to take things back to the Midwest. Give me 1/3 of Triple Espresso and the Chicago Stars FC. I don't know, we're still trying to figure that out. But give me Chicago. I like Swanson. Hopefully Sam Saab's back. Lauren Donaldson, you already know. There's a culture there. I don't know. We're late in the draft, so we're really taking flyers here. And the reality is I like watching Chicago play, especially when Swanson's on the pitch. So I'm very, very happy to get them this late in the draft.
Great pick. That was literally the other team that I was debating. It was between Portland and Chicago. Yeah, I'm with you. Anytime Mal Swanson plays, must-see TV for me. One of the best players in the league, one of the best players in the world, in my view.
All right, Chicago, Portland, little espresso for you, little for me, and I think everybody's happy.
There you go. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that this club fell this far down the draft. But with some of the players who went out the door this offseason, I think that may have played, or that may have figured into both of our minds. But they are next on my big board. And like I said, I honor the big board. Give me the Bats, Gotham FC.
Good pick. They were way down my list. I think, I'm a vibes guy, as mentioned many times over. I still think that something going on in Gotham. I mean, Lynn Biondolo continues to drop some breadcrumbs here for, journalist types like us to like kind of really pick up on and really kind of chew on a little bit. And I didn't want the Gotham vibes anywhere near my squad. I was glad to be able to save Jenna Nishwanga, from any of the shenanigans going on there. Now she's over at Arsenal. Shout out to my Gooners.
Of course.
All right, last pick here. I think you already know where I'm going. I'm a vibes guy, so I'm going to avoid one team, and I'm going to go instead with the team that Vanessa Shields spurned, Angel City FC. I'm going to be, it's looking, the way things are trending, I'm going to be a West Coast guy. Up for plenty of NWSL After Dark. Give me Angel City. I like that squad. So some interesting offseason moves here. Obviously, June Endo may be coming back from injury.
Yeah.
They picked up Katie Zellum last year toward the end of the season. A trade for Savvy King, Julie DeFore they brought in, Thompson sisters, Sydney LaRue. There are a lot of pieces there. They weren't able to kind of put it all together last season. But I like the team. I do enjoy watching them. They do get great crowds. the vibes definitely check out, and it could be, that your boys, in full West Coast mindset this time next month or maybe the following month. We'll see. So I think the timing, the time zones work out. Give me Angel City FC to kind of round out my big 7 here.
Yeah, it's a good pick. It'll be interesting to see how the Thompson sisters, both of them were in really great form, especially toward the end of the year. So, yeah, exciting things to look forward to. You already know what time it is with June Endo. I look forward to her return. They signed her in the offseason. They extended her contract through 2027. So they obviously don't want to let her go anywhere. Yeah, and then, like we alluded to, Vanessa Gilles' loan is over, I think, in June. So I don't know what's going to happen there. If Lyon wins the Champions League on the strength of, Vanessa Gilles in that back line with Wendy Renard and maybe some Tarsiane minutes, do you just say, okay, thanks for the memories, Vanessa, and then let her go back? Or do you petition Angel City and say, we would like to purchase this player's contract long term? It'll be interesting to see how that decision goes. Okay. That leaves me with San Diego Wave, your pal, Jonas Adeval. Look,
sorry, buddy.
They got Kaylin Sheridan, one of our favorite keepers in the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the retirement of the legend, Alex Morgan. They still got Kenza Dali. What we got?
Cascarino?
We have Delphine Cascarino. So, you know what? I can talk myself into this. If this is going to be the last pick of the draft, I think I can live with that. But to be completely honest with you at the same time, I was trying to avoid ending up with this team, but here we are. What can you do?
What can you do? All right, let's do a quick recap here. So my guys got Seattle Reign, Washington Spirit, North Carolina Courage, Utah Royals, Portland Thorns, Gotham FC, San Diego Wave. Some heavy hitters on your side of the line. So props to you for putting together a nice draft here. I went a little bit more vibe heavy. I've got the defending champion Orlando Pride, Bay FC, Houston Dash, Kansas City Current, Racing Louisville, Chicago Stars FC, and Angel City FC as my 7. Very, very excited to get into the season. And now I've got some structure to my homework. I'm kind of like ready to dive in here.
I hear you. I think it worked out well. I won't complain too much about the fact that, when you start with the double winners and I start with a historically great team, but the team that finished 13th in the 14-team table, that's a nice little advantage for you. But hey, you know what? That's why home field advantage exists, and you had it, my good man.
Here we go. Cranking up the excuse machine. It's all good.
I feel like I won. I feel pretty good about this draft, though. But let's run a blue sky poll so I can ultimately somehow lose that one too.
I love it. Let's go. Can't wait to fire that one up. All right, man. I think we did it. This has been another episode, kind of like a NWSL team draft after dark episode of Into the Channel. Anything else you want to hit before we get out of here?
I think we did it, my good man.
Excellent. This has been another episode of Into the Channel. Thank you for hanging out. If you enjoyed the show or love and support as much as your boys do, if you liked, and make sure you are kicking it with us each and every single week. Subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to watch or listen. Leave us a review over your favorite podcast app. Links to all of our socials in the show notes of this episode. All of our socials except for X/Twitter. We want to hear from you. We love hearing from you. And a big thank you to my co-host as well, Mr. Grant Engel. Always my first pick in the draft. I appreciate you, bro.
Likewise, buddy. Thank you for going through this exercise with me. And like we said near the beginning of the episode, for all our pals who support these different clubs all over the United States of America, some of whom are outside of the United States of America, one of us have one of your squads. Let us know who we should think about, who we should talk about during the previews. And if you want to even give us some of your picks for, your boys, we're going to pick player awards. We're going to pick the Coach of the Year award. We're going to pick who we think is going to make the playoffs, who's going to win the Shield, who's going to win the NWSL championship. We obviously got to hear your scorching hot takes as well. So thank you for rocking with us. We will see you next time. We'll see you for the next episode. We'll see you for the NWSL preview down the road. And then we'll talk to you very soon.